Hello possums, Dreymasmith here, dreaming of creepers in a Minecraft world. And here we are in the desert on a very bright morning and ready to go. So without further ado, let's get started on that creeper farm. Let's start making those wretched creatures pay their own way. So into our little shack. Yes, I went and got the silk touch. Yes, I have my ender chest in the room. Let's have a look at what we need. So for actually making the coalescing bowl, the platforms, the top of it, we need lots and lots and lots of cobble. And we also need, in order to customize it for creepers only, for each farm, and I'll be making 2, 1,000 trapdoors and what's this, somewhere between 400 and 500 blocks of glass. So I've been a bit of a busy beaver the last few days. And for the mechanisms for the farm, we need 9 hoppers for the collection at the bottom, plus I've got 3 hoppers and 6 chests to put the stuff in. We need 10 observers, 10 dispensers, 1 dropper, 10 buckets which will have water in them. And for the clock at the top, we need 12 repeaters, 1 comparator, 1 lever, and 3 bits of redstone, which I've left at home. Guess where I'll be going? But I'm not doing that right now. What we're going to do right now is get our stuff together and get started out there. See you in a minute. Okay, we're ready to go. Now, I am building Nembon's basic hostile mob farm. I am customizing it to be for creepers only. When I talk about Y values, I am not talking about the value I'm standing on, but the value I'm looking at. So I'm currently standing on 64. I am looking at 63. Now I need the hoppers to be at 63 that I'm looking at. Where am I going to put the collection point? Probably here. So, hoppers. Right, I'm just bunging down a block to stand in for where hoppers and chests are going to go. I want all my hoppers going into that point. So there's that one which is going into that dirt block. The rest I have to place by shift clicking. So I'm just clicking into the back, and then all the others I'll click into the sides. There we go. And if you're wondering what all these bits of dirt are, they're just marking out how wide platforms are and where I need things to be so I can get that farm there and this one positioned correctly in relation to each other. So there's our 9 hoppers. Next thing I'm going to do is tower up from Y63, which is what I'm looking at with the hoppers, to Y93. I'll see you in a minute. I've got to shift click for the first one, and after that it should be clean sailing. Meet you up at Y93. There we go, Y93. Now, it's high. I've got elytra on. I should have chorus fruit in the hotbar, which I now have. Right, next, I've got to build a platform, which if I was building this as a general hostile mob farm would be 5 by 5, but because I'm building this specifically for creepers, it's 3 by 3. So that's it. Now next I need cobble slabs. Yes, I remembered and put them in my inventory. Yay. Okay, now pick the middle block, go out as a top slab by 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice to know I can count, isn't it? And then 1 out this side, 1 out this side. And I repeat that on the other 3 sides. So see you in a minute. Okay, that's done. Next thing is to fill this in, joining it up as a diagonal. So I'll show you what I mean. I'll just get to the edges. Nembon has got a fantastic step-by-step tutorial for this farm on his site. I will link it through. It's worth watching the whole video, but the tutorial is right at the beginning. But the whole video is fantastic, just full of so many variations, and some of them are so much fun. So that's what I mean by joining it up. So I'll do that on the others, and then we'll do the next bit because I have made a slight change to that. Okay, all joined up, all done. By the way, I'm using cobble because I've got so much cobble. All that's required is slabs, and that it be a top slab. I'm just using cobble because, oh my goodness, I've got so much. Now, the next bit is you have to go up 1 block, and Nembon just does this with a slab, and then there's a half slab gap there. And I just thought, with the new water mechanics coming out in 1.13, I didn't want a gap. I didn't know that that would be a great idea. So I am putting my 1 block up as a full block. Now it has to be, the next level has to be 3 blocks wide. So slab joining the 1 block on the rise. I know that sounds confusing. Hopefully from seeing what I'm doing, you understand what I actually meant. Not always the best at describing things. Okay, so that's 1 all the way around, and some sections have got 2. I'm going to make this 3 wide. See you in a tick. Okay, that's the 3 wide. Next is the same thing as we did before. We're going up by 1, but I'm going to take it up a full block instead of just taking it up as a slab with a slab gap. So pop a piece of dirt there, pop a block on top of it, and then just go around slab and blocks until I've got the whole thing raised by 1. Now I've got to make it 2 wide, so most of it already is. It's just these end bits that aren't. Excuse me. Yay, pop back up. Okay, I'll just pop the 2 wide bits on the end, and then we'll do the next little bit that's different. What Nembon does next is he carefully places the water so it all runs down there, and then cuts this second row off, and the water is tricked into thinking it can only go that way, but not go that way. And I'm not willing to leave it to chance, and I actually quite like doing this next bit. I'm adding an extra row all the way around, and I'll be putting a slab on top just so things can't spawn, because this is going to be dark. And then I place water. So see you in a tick. There we go, all done. Looks a bit monumental, doesn't it? It's not, it's okay. I've got to go back down. I've got to fill water buckets. I'll be back up in a tick. Oh, there's a lot of that, isn't there? I'll be back in a tick. But I will. I need to place water at all the points on this ring up here. Now, I'm going to be smart. Hopefully. Will that form an infinite water source? No. Oh well. But it does come down and stop flowing where we need it. So I'm wondering what I can do. Will this work? I just know how many of these I've got to do, and an infinite water source will make it a lot simpler. There we go. So now I can put these buckets in, and when they're empty, I can go and refill them in the middle. There we are, all done. A little bit noisy, but it stops exactly where we want it to. We've got that square of 3x3 dirt with no water on it, which also means no water will fall down out of this. That's terrific. So we put 2 ordinary blocks of dirt and a dispenser facing up. And I'm doing shift and jump. I'm doing that all the way up until I get up to Y126. Okay, we're pretty much at the top of the world. Hello, clouds. Now, if you have a look, we are looking at Y125. And that's because at the very top, instead of putting a dispenser, we put a dropper facing up. And we are in the clouds. There we are. Getting rather damp. Okay, so that dropper is at Y126. So next thing we drop down. And that's easy because, well, look, there's water. And I just realised there wasn't water there, so I couldn't drop straight down. Okay, I'm going to remove those 2. So I'm going to go down and get some sleep, and then we'll do the next bit. And by the way, this thing, it leaks. Boy, does it leak. I could go up there and pour another row of slabs underneath, and that would stop it leaking, and that's certainly something you can do if you want to. But given the whole narrative of this place is a degraded industrial area, the fact that it leaks kind of fits. All right, next thing we want to do. Where? Ah! We're going to tower up next to the tower we just built and get rid of the temporary blocks. And underneath that dispenser, I'm going to place an observer, and I want it so that little red dot is facing down. So if we can have a look around here, you can see the arrow is also facing down. So I'm going to do that all the way up to the top. So remove the blocks, put the observer facing down. And the last observer goes underneath that dropper. Wow, love the view. Now we're going to start building our platforms, and we're going to start creeper proofing them at the same time. So I need not just my cobble, but also the glass. I think it's in this one. Yep, it's in this one. Let me have a look. I'm going to need that. I'll get it sorted. Hang on. Okay, now we're going to pick one point that we go up. So here's as good as any. And we're going to start towering up. Now, next to this dropper, as a top slab, we're going to start building our floor. So I'm going out 7 from that dropper. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to do the same on all 4 sides. And then we'll join them up so we'll have a diamond platform. And I'm also going to pay attention, silly me, to where our spider proofing needs to go, which I haven't been doing. So the end one on every section needs to be a glass block. So I go out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slabs, then a glass block. See you in a minute. Okay, next. This one has to be a glass block, and the rest of them in that line aren't. So basically for each quarter it's the same. So I can put glass block at each. There we go. So we should have on the diagonal, heading from right to left, 2 glass blocks, 2 cobble, 1 glass block, 2 cobble, 1 glass block. And we just repeat that all the way around. Alright, that's the start of it. What we need to do to stop spiders from spawning is not have any spawnable area. So they need 3 by 3. So this won't work, that won't work. But you can see here we've got big areas where we've got 3 by 3. So the next thing we need to do is put in columns. So we start here, and we're going to, excuse me, great start. We're going to put 1 in there, and then so we go down 2 and across 1. It's a bit like a chestnut really, isn't it? And we've got this glass here, so we go across 2 and down 1. And we've got a gap of 2 and 1 there. And there's our... So I just repeat that on each corner on each quarter the same. Across 1 and down 2, down 2 and 1 there, and 2 between this one and 1 there. So yeah, that ends up with 2 and 1 there, 2 and 1 there, 2 and 1 there. So I just do that on each of them the same. You should be able to work it out even if I'm not being the clearest. I'm doing my best. And the thing is, once you've done one layer, it gets so much easier because all the others are exactly the same. Okay, now the other thing I'm going to do is pop torches in, because this is going to get so dark. It actually goes down to 0 as you start to build up all the layers. And I'm not worried about the torches because they will eventually all get washed down and they'll turn up in our hoppers at the bottom. I don't even have to pick them up. So we go up again. I should pop an extra layer on top of all of these, excuse me. Okay, I'm going to continue this all the way up to the top, and that's 10 layers, and then we'll do the clock. So as usual, I'll see you later. I will meet you at the top. And by the way, this next layer, as I said, it's going to be so much easier. We can see exactly where those pillars go. We just have to pay attention to our end one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a block and a block. So we just pay attention to those outside ones. The pillars have now taken care of themselves. We'll continue them all the way up, and then we'll do the rest of the customization on the way back down. We are on the home stretch now. We're right at the top. This is the dropper, not the dispenser. Every other level, and there are 10 of them, we have been building with top slabs so that things can spawn on them. Now we're doing the roof. We don't want things spawning, so this last level, which I fell down, this last level is bottom slabs. I don't care if that dirt despawns. Now, we're going to go out, whoops, I'm just going to pop that there. We're going to go out 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then one either side like we did for the coalescing pool. And now we're going out another 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That puts us a long way over that pool and also ensures that once all the torches are gone, every single one of those levels has a light level of 0 right the way across it. So I'm going to do all that and then I'm going to join them up, and then we'll start putting in the redstone clock, because this is a flushing system. So what happens is there's a clock, it goes round. As the signal goes through, all of the dispensers and droppers fire going down, spitting out the water, because there'll be buckets of water in. They flush the system, the signal comes round again, sends a signal right down, and that causes everything to fire and suck the water back in, and round and round and round it goes while we've got it turned on. So I'll see you when we are ready to do that bit. I know I said that we would get on with the next bit of getting the creeper farm done, but if I do that, this video is going to be about 40 minutes long, and I think that's a bit too long, so I'm going to call it here. Come back next time and we will continue to condition this farm so it's creeper only. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you then. Bye!